So yeah, you can see what one's about from the title. You know, fragrances that make me joyous and want to live, give you a new viv of life. You know, fragrances that are that good, and also fragrances that are so bad I just want to walk myself off a short cliff into the ocean and just give it all up. Obviously it's dramatic, the title, but it's basically good and bad, isn't it? The idea of the title was from the great Margo's perfumes. Obviously Margo, who's on Instagram, and she has a YouTube channel as well. I'll try and remember to link them, just because, yeah, I'm struggling for inspiration at the moment, and as you can hear, I am really unwell. Cold / heavy hay fever and stuff. So yeah, I never sound overjoyed in videos, Charlie, but it's off into the field there. But yeah, anyway, we'll get started. So yeah, let's face it, there's going to be no surprises about any of the fragrances in this video. Ones I've mentioned a lot for probably the exact same reasons, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's a video. So first up is obviously going to be Kilian's Rolling in Love. Now this was a kind of a love at first sniff, but then after the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth sniff, you get kind of more and more deep into this. It's utterly incredible. It's them musks, and as it warms on the skin, it gives you that kind of tickly, sensual feelings. It's just a musk bomb. There's florals, there's like tuberose, a bit of an almond milky feel. It's like soft, tender, musky skin, and a kiss, if you like. It is like falling in love and all of that jazz. So it's just a magnificently wonderful fragrance, and there's nothing quite like it. There's people who've tried to copy this as it got more popular, and they're disasters, really. Is this the ambrette mixing with the other musk? It's not just ambrette on its own, but the ambrette gives a kind of carnal feel, with all the other musk giving the more sensual kind of feel about it. It's just a fragrance that, for a brand like Kilian, this was back when they were good. There is another Kilian in this list, but yeah, we'll get on to that. But back when they were good, you know, they used to make just beautiful fragrances. You know, no overly the most artistic creations, or, you know, the most out there, but there were fragrances that, well, it was all about beauty and luxury and stuff, and this being such a delicate kind of easygoing one fitted that perfectly. Maybe it was the last great they ever made. Thinking about it, probably. I mean, yeah, but that's Rolling in Love from Kilian. Next we have Initio's Oud For Greatness. Now all about, you know, I'm not going to pick on brands and stuff, and none of them will be a surprise in it. Now Oud For Greatness, kind of in a way, don't know if it started a trend, but it certainly kind of amped up the trend of, well, what does it smell like? Synthetic awful, toilet cleaner, lavender, this dark, rich goop, and it's very strong, and it lasts for a very long time, and it's got this kind of the whatever the woody things you want to call them have, this kind of synthetic purr where it just continually grinds on you endlessly, like nails down a chalkboard. It's so choking. And yeah, well, yeah, obviously I think we know the trend of really big fragrances that last forever, that have no style, class, finesse, no real kind of profile to them. They're just big and strong, and as synthetic as humanly possible. Again, I have nothing against synthetics, but they're used to kind of elevate and add something to a fragrance. Do you know what I mean? They're used as like part of your toolkit, not your toolkit, but these sorts of things prove this. And Initio, as we all know, were very big when they you know, started to rise in the old PR things, and Oud For Greatness was made out to be one of the greatest fragrances of all time by all these people who are really into fragrances, who were paid but didn't declare it, allegedly. So there's not just the fact I hate the fragrance profile, I hate what this kind of did. And now you can pick up, well, there are clones of this as it happens, but you can pick up anyway beforehand one of these, you know, these so-called Middle Eastern, these things that are made in the Middle East and marketed to the West, that you have to leave to settle for 6 months and all that jazz. We're not going to get into that, but you could pick up one of them exactly the same as this for about 20 quid. But Initio thought, we're going to charge 300 quid. Okay. And obviously that makes influencers happy because they think they're getting a bottle that's worth, allegedly, a lot of money. So it was hyped to high hell, and it was just, it's dreadful. There's no other words for it, it's just dreadful. You might have noticed people don't really talk about it anymore because it's awful. It was just that hype moment, if you get what I mean, of it being the greatest ever, and it's just not. And I really struggle with brands like Initio and Parfums de Marly, same thing. They're just very synthetic, very designer-esque, very Middle Eastern style of them. When I say Middle Eastern style, we know I'm not insulting. Middle Eastern perfume is absolutely wonderful, fantastic, brilliant, but the stuff that's marketed towards a more European and North American audience ain't Middle Eastern, is it? Anyway, that's why I hate this one. It's why it makes me want to, you know, smash the glass and maybe cut off my head with the remains, you know, although with what's in these fragrances it'll probably reanimate me and I'll be stuck forever smelling of that guff. So that's Initio's Oud For Greatness. That is one that just makes me want to end it all. Next is obviously a joyous one that you know would save me from having after smelling that I'd go and spray this and think, oh, there is some goodness in the world. They're in no order, but we all know this fragrance is going to be in here. They're all predictable, is my point. But One Way Bridge's Date with a Dame. Now, Date with a Dame it's not the same as Rolling in Love, but its main feature is the musks again. Now it's kind of this tuberose, bit of anise, these gorgeous musks. There's kind of a sensual, naughty wink of a musk in there. There's also these kind of clean, soapy musks. It's just beautiful. This one has a bit more presence than Rolling in Love because it's one of them that's supposed to like draw people in. And well, this is my opinion, obviously. And it's based around Elise herself and stuff, you know. So it is this kind of beautiful, innocent kind of thing with a naughty thing when she was getting herself back on her feet. I'm not saying that about Elise, by the way. I have no opinion, but I'm saying it's obviously got that personality about it. And it's just magnificent. This was her first creation as well, to make something so good, so complete. And it's the floral aspect has like this naughty little cherry feel about it, and it's just, again, there's nothing really like it. Like I say, the musky aspect is the thing that reminds me slightly of Rolling in Love. It's just wonderful, and it's a joy. And the other thing that adds to this is an indie perfume. Do you know what I mean? This is someone who's not spent 50 years in Paris, you know, so they can get to be exactly the same as all the other perfumers out there. It's very natural and smelling. There's nothing irritating about it. It's just a beautiful, finished, complete fragrance that if Dior or, I don't know, a decent niche brand, are there any left, sold this, that it will be a mega seller across the world. It will be really popular. So yeah, that's One Way Bridge's Date with a Dame, a beautiful masterpiece. Next is Bianco Latte. This is one that makes me want to end it all, obviously, by Giardini di Toscana. This was recently hyped to all hell. Again, nothing to do with PR, of course, which there was endless amounts of it being out there. Never really heard of the brand. I've tried another one from them. Yeah. But this one was hyped to high hell because for some reason there was a there was a trending vanilla kind of thing, wasn't there? Because you know what really excites people and gets them out of bed in the morning and makes their day is vanilla. Now this one is vanilla with like a vanilla ambroxan milkshake. It was very heavy, very dense. There's weird stuff in it. You know what? It opens up to be not the worst. And I suppose if that's what you smell like an influencer, that's all they ever smell from a bottle, innit? 3 seconds on a strip, and then they make a whole review and read the script and all of that. This, yeah, all right, I'll give you that. But it just gets bigger and stodgier and sharper, and I think, what did I describe it as? A milkshake with a plaster in it and ambroxan. It's just not, it's not pleasant. But again, I mean, I'm not going to bang on about this every time. The amount of hype around it. Really, this is the best thing you've ever smelled? Have you only ever smelt one perfume? I get why people might like it. You know, if you are on a vanilla, you want all the vanillas. I've got 50 million violet ones. I'm sure some of them are not potentially the greatest ever made. It's fair enough. If you're a collector of a certain thing, you have a certain love of certain things, and it's fair enough in it, but it's just not very good. Well, that's you know, that's an understatement. And again, I suppose it wasn't ridiculously priced. It's about average. I don't know what this is. Is it? It's allegedly niche, isn't it? Whatever. So that's Giardini Toscana Bianco Latte, for one that just makes me want to end it all. Next, I want that again, you know, let's forget that last one, let's get some life, let's get some stuff. Now, Aromatics are a brand that make lots of natural perfumes, and they are very vividly natural and might take you to a scene, a place, and I love what she does. Now, I'm not saying natural's better than synthetic. There's none of that argument. It's not what this is about. It just makes beautiful artistic scenes and places. And the one that is me to a large extent is Lotus Rising. Now, obviously, this has lotus in it. It has lotus, vintage lotus notes in it. It has some other florals to kind of big it up. It has this kind of wet, moist, muddy feel in the base. It's got a little bit of an indolic touch to it, but it takes you to a scene like in, say, China or India by a calm little river and stream, and all the water lilies and the lotuses are coming up, and you can kind of, I don't think I've ever smelt real ones, you kind of get that kind of smell in the air of the sweet flowers. Lotus are quite recognisable and quite strong, aren't they? Quite heady flower, and you get that kind of in the air, but then you get all the green around it, like I say, the damp mud and the fresh new greenery growing, and it's all very calm, and it's one of them that just kind of makes me want to float away to somewhere nice. It's kind of meditative and peaceful, and it also, to me, is quite, in a way, it's poignant. It's kind of what you wish life was, just this calm thing where nothing much really happened, just beauty, and that be it. And that's why it kind of resonates with me so much. It's so beautifully done. Like I say, I've never smelt one in the wild, I've never been to China, India, etc. But you're taken there. I can imagine this is exactly what it's like. So that's April Aromatics Lotus Rising. Next is from a makeup brand, and I don't know whether these were ever intended to be serious. I can't believe they were. Whether they're supposed to be novelty or, you know, a joke thing with a joke price, just to see what the public would do. And it's called More Sex, and it's from Charlotte Tilbury. I've spoken about, I just can't fathom. I mean, it's all subjective, but how subjectively awful this fragrance is. And the name is like, what are you doing? Really? I mean, is this for teenage boys or something? It's just, anyway, what's it like? It smells of synthetic beef, deep, dense, horrible kind of beef. Maybe not even the actual meat. I think the meat would smell nicer, you know, when you've opened the oven. It smells of all the fat and all the stuff that's been in your oven. Your oven probably smells a bit of cleaning goods and stuff like that. That's mixed with this horrible, sickly, dense cashmeran. That's all they are. They should have been called the cashmeran range, with different slight offensive flavourings about them. I like it when people do something new. What I will say is that's a plus point to it, yeah? It was something new. I'd never smelled anything like it, but sometimes when you've never smelled something like something, there's probably a reason for that, isn't there? You know, there's probably a reason we haven't, you know, smelled perfume of his leavings. Sometimes just leave it alone, innit? You know what I mean? And it's just really bad. But again, what adds to me wanting to stick my head in this metaphorical oven we mentioned before. Well, yeah, of course it was gifted and PR'd and whatever to high hell, so it was hyped to heck. All of them were. I mean, people got the entire collection in PR. I have nothing against, again, about PR, but nobody, when talking about these fragrances, said, well, this one's not really for me. I'm not sure what this one's about. This one perhaps, you know, just isn't great. It's a miss from the brand. They all were, by the way, but no one said that. So, you know, you have people going out blind buying this stuff because they've watched reviews and stuff, and yeah, notice none of them, again, none of them, we're only talking, what, 9 months, a year ago, when they were hyped to hell. Nobody talks about them at all now. They're in nobody's top 10s and stuff, yet they were the greatest thing ever released. So yeah, I'm off to stick my head in an oven after I've cooked my beef. I mean, I might enjoy a bit of the beef. Not if it tastes like synthetic, vile, chemical beef, but yeah, that's more sex from Charlotte Tilbury. Next is obviously one that gives me life, wants to keep me alive. And this one's an interesting one. It's Noir from Tom Ford. Now, obviously, I've spoken about this a lot. I've also spoken particularly why this one's very special. Well, it was a gift. Well, it wasn't a gift. I bought it from Lizzie. It's one I smelled and fell instantly in love with. Now, what makes this so special is its rose. And up until this point, I like more roses now. But you know, when we first kind of get mega into this, like, I don't like rose. I'll never like rose. It's rose. No, thank you. And then, we'll same story. I've mentioned it so many times, repeating myself again. Well, there's a rose that you'll go, oh yeah, this is me. Excuse the French. I really love this. This is something wow. And I believe that this particular rose deserves the swear word. It's magnificent. It's rose. It's kind of chocolatey, earthy, patchouli. It's kind of a touch of truffle, so it has this kind of otherworldly, almost mushroominess, a red wine kind of feel, which is why some people give it this kind of Turkish delight thing. Obviously the dark rose. It's magnificent. It's sweet. It's earthy. It's dark, and you can see why it kind of has that kind of Dracula-esque kind of thing that people talk about with it, because it's gothic. It's dark. Everything goes together really well, but it's just so. It's one of them fragrances, and a rose particularly, that is very me. It's very what I like to wear. It doesn't suit my style. I mean, I'm wearing a very luminous bright green t-shirt now, so you know, you wouldn't imagine me wearing Noir de Noir. But yeah, I don't need to waffle on about this. We know what it is, but it just makes me happy. And also, this is from the days before Tom Ford was well and truly Estee Laudered. So they were creative, they were interesting. They hadn't been reformulated into, you know, synthetic scented water. They were actual fragrances, and there wasn't one out every other day. I'm sure there'll be a flanker of this at some point, because that's where they're going, isn't it? The cash machines now. It's just the name. There's none of the brand left, but it's just special. And Tom Ford fragrances were special. They were something different, something a bit unique, something a bit naughty, something a bit cheeky. And this has all of them elements in it. It's just wonderful. That's Noir de Noir from Tom Ford. Now next up we have a kind of twosome here. And they're both from my favourite brand. We all know who I love. Can't help it, innit? It's obviously Amouage. And this is one that just makes me... This is how I know I'll probably never buy another recently released Amouage. This is Love Delight. Now there was rumours spinning round about the L'Oreal takeover, which has happened. Only a small percentage. But since Renault Salmon came in, you knew what was going to happen. They've become more mainstream. I mean, they were obviously a very successful brand before this, but you know, money talks, doesn't it? So yeah, obviously Renault Salmon came in, and more you found the fragrances becoming more and more designer-esque. Now, Love Delight, it's not an awful fragrance. I need to say that. It's not my cup of tea, not my bag of chips. It's, how would you describe it? It's this kind of fruity, thick, rich, cashmeran-y, heavy, dense, fruity, floral, non-specific, generic kind of what's out there at the moment. But the added bonus of this is, this one costs 300 quid. Score. So something you could probably pick up for 20-30 quid, you know, in any sort of reduced chemist place. You can now pay 300 quid for it. I mean, how lucky are you? So this is, how would you describe this one? It's what you'd smell everywhere, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's actually made by one of my favourite perfumers, who made the first perfume mentioned, Rolling in Love. Now, he's obviously a really gifted, talented man. I'm not going to say he's not, because I love him and I love what he does. This one, no, just no. And this one was kind of, I think they dangled and over promoted and over pushed Guidance. Now, Guidance itself is a nice one. It is. It's not for everyone, and that's what Amouage did. But it was way overhyped, and I imagine they'd already made the Guidance extra after the first kind of wave of pushing this. And yeah, so this again is trying to go along that path. It's from the Secret Garden collection as well, which they discontinued Love Mimosa, which I didn't like, I'm not going to lie. And replaced it with this one, and then they reformulated all the others. I don't want to smell the others. I love Tuberose and love Lilac Love are magnificent fragrances, easygoing ones again, but not as generic or as bad or designer-esque as this. This is the death nail of where a fantastically wonderful, creative brand of masterpiece after masterpiece has gone. It's gone, it's finished, it's over. So I'm not going to keep waffling on, but yeah, that's Love Delight. I do have another name for it, but I won't put that here. But I get why people like it, because it's mass appealing and likeable, I suppose. But nah, it just makes me want to get all my Amouage bottles and set a house fire and burn to death. It doesn't really, but it's not good. It's a sad shame. So that's Love Delight from Amouage. And next, as if by magic, this is where you don't get this with influencers. There's nuance in a brand. Everything's not going to be for you, is it? You know, there's some absolute misses, and if the brand you've loved is going wrong, I mean, I don't get sent PR, but I wouldn't want to, because I would say this and I wouldn't get any more ever again, would it? But my point is it's very windy. Hang on. This is Amouage Portrayal, and now this, right, in itself is, again, it's not a wacky weird Amouage. There's nothing completely out there or crazy. It's got it's basically these massive mega jasmine with a little tuberose touch in there. There's a kind of cigarette smoky feels. There's elemi. There's a kind of resinousness. Sometimes you get a little bit more of that resinousness and lovely musks. But you know, it's nothing out there wacky, crazy, but it's a masterpiece. This is jasmine done, oh, just heavenly. It's kind of got this little vintage nod. I wouldn't call it a vintage one, but it does have that kind of nod to them great glorious eras. And this was from the Christopher Chong period. Now Christopher Chong did these really weird, insane ones, which again, more masterpieces, which I absolutely loved. And he also did ones that have a more kind of easygoing, kind of familiar feel about them. Not familiar in they were like other things, but you know what I mean, a DNA we were used to. And this sits with that. But it was just, it's done insanely perfectly. It's like these are the days when you had perfume brands who said, this is what I want you to create. There's no budget, go away and create it. Do your best, you perfume artists, wonderful people. Not you've got 5 pence, make it smell like Aventus and BR5 for that not them days. And this shows everything about it. So much quality, so much finesse, so much class, so much elegance, so much love. It's a perfect jasmine fragrance to me. And it picks, like I say, all the different elements of the jasmine in there. It's got the big bombastic sweet feel, it's got a softer kind of greener touch there. There's a little bit of a kind of indolic feel, but the tuberose kind of just bigs it up more. It's glorious, it's big, it's not full of synthetic nonsense. It just is big because he used, you know, good ingredients and stuff. And it's what... Is it my favourite from Amouage? It's always a tricky question, isn't it? I always, you know me, I jump backwards and forwards with what my favourite is. It's one of them. You have different reasons, different moods, don't you? It's just wonderful. So that's Portrayal from Amouage. And finally, we're going to talk about a flanker. I think the 4th flanker of this fragrance. Now I did speak about this weirdly the other day in my 9 out of 10 fragrances, and it's one I've always praised, but it's a flanker to it. Now we're going to talk about Angel Share Paradis. Now Angel Share, I always said it's not extraordinary, it's nothing out there, it's nothing, you know, kind of crazy, or it just works and it's just lovely. It's not for everyone, I get that, but this is a kind of very hyped flanker. Now for some reason, first of all, they made it into an extrait, which I spoke to someone. I think this was always maybe intended to be their extrait version. It's just it was so awful that they thought, let's stick some raspberry or whatever in it. Now, it's got that I'll get into this, but let's just basically say it's got that DNA in the background of the original, which becomes more and more prominent. But it opens with, and I'm not going to lie, I quite like the raspberry rose kind of thing. It's quite nice. It's like a sticky plastic raspberry, but it's nice. It's nice, and it's a nice touch. And when you first smell it, again, this shows people's levels of concentrating on things. It's lovely. You say, oh, this is quite nice. And I thought, oh, do you know what? It's very similar to the other. I like what they've done here. I think this is, yeah, I didn't want to like this. Oh, and then you kind of leave it there, and what starts to grow through it is, don't know how to put it, because obviously it's extra or whatever. It's not the same as the original, but it starts to become this gloopy, sticky. I'm sure there's cashmere, and there's definitely ambroxan in this. There's gloopy, sticky, peppery, heavy, dense kind of version of the original, where they've kind of gone, you know, there was some natural ingredients in there, skip them. Let's put these kind of weird heavy molecular stuff in. Let's make it strong and big, because that's what people really love. They don't want a perfume with finesse or class. They just want big, sticky, heavy ones. Going back to the first one, that made me want to end it all, you know. And I'm Oud For Greatness. It's got that kind of stodgy gloop in there, and you get like a memory of, oh, this does remind me of Angel Share. I've never smelt them ones that came out in the kind of copied bottles, but I imagine they're more like this. Maybe that's what, I mean, again, I'm not going to knock it if this is what Estee Lauder / Kilian have done. They've gone, well, the clones of Angel Share were really popular, why don't we copy the clones and make it into a flat? Maybe that's what they've done. save themselves a fortune but whack the price up. It's not good. And as we all know, well, we probably don't, Kilian used to be my favourite brand, and like I was saying earlier, they made beautiful, unique, beautiful, kind of pretty fragrances. And then they became more and more Estee Laudered, and we know where that goes. we know. And since Angel Share, I liked Vert de whatever it was, Le Vert, that's it, because that was interesting. It was nice. I like absinthe and that was good. But after that, you knew that this was it. This was the end of Kilian, because they weren't unusual fragrances. They were nice, common ones done nicely. And then you had Brandy on Ice or whatever it was. That came out after. That wasn't all that great. So yeah, the reason that kind of this one makes me just want to pack it all in and burn my perfumes is this is the future. Why did Kilian? Why did he have to go down this path? Another flanker and a synthetic messy version of that flanker. And again, I know this one's loved and everyone's hyping it. Good for you. Not for me. So that's Angel Share, Paradis. So yeah, that's the end of the video. It's obviously not meant to be grumpy. It's a pinch of salt, bit of fun in it, really. I think, you know, I don't need to explain myself. It's all subjective, isn't it? I'm not saying anything's bad. Just to me personally, you know. People are entitled to their own opinions and stuff, aren't they? And I know people who love all the ones I mentioned. Out against them. I'm not saying they have bad taste or anything. We just love different things, don't we? But I think when you've smelt as many as we generally have when we've been, you know, into this world for years, things start to blend into the same, and you notice patterns really kind of obviously. And you know, it's the era of the influencer, isn't it? I don't know. I suppose it's like any job, isn't it? If I work for, well, I did used to do door to door, but if I work for a phone company, you're supposed to say that they're the greatest phone company on earth because you've been paid to say that. You can't really be balanced. And that's kind of the nature of being a salesman, isn't it, really? You've just got to sell, make yourself some moolah. So that's just is what it is, and I suppose we all know now to take what these people say with a pinch of salt. You'll also not get anything what it actually smells like. It's all pre-scripted or just the notes in it. And that's just the nature of the beast now. But you know, what I suppose I'm saying is, you know, anything that's hyped to high hell, there'll be 1 in 50, 1 in 100 that maybe deserves this hype, and what they generally are ones that these influencers might have actually put their hand in the pocket themselves for. It does happen. Oh, it's rare, but it will happen. It's just is what it is, isn't it, really? It's just a disappointment, I suppose, and now everything's blending into exactly the same thing. And you find this in all walks of life, isn't it? Music has died. It's all blended into same sort of thing for 30-second clips on TikTok. So if 30 seconds of your song is good, then there's your success, isn't it? I suppose it's like this with perfume. If the openings are right, there you go. It is what it is. But there's still, like I said, there's some of them fragrances I mentioned are fairly recent ones as well. There is beauty and there is elegance and real perfume out there. You just got to find it, and you ain't going to hear about it on YouTube because no one's been paid to promote it. So it starts to get tricky, isn't it? But this is what it is. And like I say, this is it's not an overly serious video, and I'm obviously in a grumpy mood, being ill and stuff, so it adds to it a bit, doesn't it? Hi. So what about you? What fragrances have you smelt recently that get you passionate again and make you love it all and feel alive? Or what about ones that make you want to end it all? You know, not quite so dramatically, but I think, why? Who's going to part with their money for this nonsense? So that's it, really, isn't it? Thanks for watching, folks. Bye.